And if you also listen to him, as long as he's doing a movie in Ghana, the percentage of Ghanaians who work in his production, 60% against Nigerian 40. So there is nowhere from the two sides of the stories that I've heard, there is nowhere this man, went wrong. You see, sometimes when you hear or see a story that concerns Nigeria and Ghana and how this relationship and this, fight is going deeper, you wonder, oh, has it been deep all this while and we were thinking that it was all banter and all cruise and, vibe? Because some things will happen, you will say, oh, it's just a one-off. And then another happened, oh, it's one-off. And then it keeps getting worse. And you're wondering, at what point did it go south? And we were all still thinking it was a bant. So whenever I come here, I don't like talking about it in a way that would make things worse. But when you look at it, you find out that, when you want to take it calmly, it's not the same way on the other end. The other end, they are coming with their knives and, gun blazing. And then when you want to say, okay, maybe it's not it, let us look at it this way. But the other end, they're not saying it that way. Now, what am I talking about? I know that a lot of you who follow, especially that period when the Igbo King matter was at the peak, you will remember the picture
and also later reference the propaganda.
Some stories that came out. By the way, his name is Destiny Omon. He's a filmmaker based in Ghana. So when I saw this picture that time, I didn't really follow the story because when I even tried to follow it, it was a story wrapped around this Igbo king, his Igbo king. And when I even saw the person who was propagating the story, the Kweku Anan, sometimes there are some people, because of their bias, one story is coming from them, just know that it's already, wrapped in their bias. So there is you will never find any neutrality in their story. It's just going to be one-sided, so you don't even bother. Even if they have a point, but because of their track record of being biased and hateful towards a nation, you won't want to listen to him. So I really didn't, because I saw that, they did this, it was linked to Igbo King and all of that. So I didn't follow it. Anyway, by the way, my name is Osih-Oyelude. Thank you so much for joining, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So, like I said, because the story was wrapped around the Igbo king and all of that, I wasn't really interested because, to be honest, there are some media houses or there are some Ghanaian influencers who the story will come from, the Destiny Omon story that time. I would listen to say, okay, what has he done? But because of who he was coming from, I didn't bother. I have to be honest, I didn't bother. Okay, so that's why I did not even treat it. Whatever it is, let them sort themselves out. The story, we didn't hear anything again. Because I know if he had done something that was, against the law, it would have been everywhere. Not only Kweku Anan will report it, other people will report it as well. But like I said, trying to confirm why I said, if any story about Nigerians coming from this man, take it with a pinch of salt, because he's so biased, he's so one-sided, and his, hate for Nigeria shows his things. So, like I said, if the story is coming from him, take it with a pinch of salt. So anyway, Destiny Omon eventually broke his silence concerning what happened around that time. The whole thing that led to him being, he called it, he was abducted, and then, eventually released. So he spoke to Channels Television, Bidemi Dairo. So let me play some part of that interview. When we come back, we'll talk.
We dare you to premiere this movie here in this country. Yes. Me, I decided to be cool with you. But Charlie, no. No. Bro, no. You can't premiere that movie. Folks, make a short break, me bar.
The environment has not been too comfortable for us, but it has not been a problem because we were used to trying to cope in any environment until it became something that every year is growing, and this is where we are now. So when the issue of Nigeria must go started, although I predicted this last 2 years when the former speaker came to Ghana, Gbajabiamila, and I told him, I said, today they are fighting the traders, but I bet you in no long time they'll fight the entertainers, because these are the people that move Nigeria outside the country. So when the Nigeria must go issue happened, I would not let people attack my own people there, so I had to defend it. And they came for us because, like I said, the entertainment industry cut across. Don't forget, last year there was a press conference in Ghana that said that Nigerian music should not be played. That was the first thing we had to deal with before this one happened. So yes, I was abducted because I had to speak. I had to tell them, we have Ghanaians in Nigeria who are doing entertainment. The day I was flying in, I was on the same flight with more than 5 Ghana actors who are coming here to work. So I was like, there should be reciprocity. If we are being treated like this, if we treat your people well in Nigeria, then you should also treat my people well in Ghana. I think there's a political leader, an opposition guy that didn't like what I said. He is the one championing the Nigeria must go, so they came to my house to adopt me. But as God will have it, before they took me to where they were going, the news started trending. People started showing it, and that was what saved me. Yeah, I was under attack, and I'm still under attack. Yeah, they gave us a law that if you want to film, a producer must have to deposit $10,000 before we can film. So when that started, you notice that most of the big films were not coming to Ghana like before. Now, the position of the government is that they support what we are doing. Because whether you like it or not, I bring the Nigerian money to Ghana to come and film. We do not have access to government resources there, despite there are some. We have to bring the Nigerian resources, and the government knows it. Last 2 weeks, I brought Alex Osifo and Yemi Black to Ghana. The government supported it. But there's a group of people which is being led by an opposition who is against this movie screening. Nigerians are too loud. Nigerians are this. They are too confident. Where do they see this? They see it in our movies. So I think that is where we are having problem, not with the government per se, I must be fair, but with a certain group of people who is pushing this agenda that is not going well for us. Yes. Now, a politician will always need a media person to carry out the agenda. There's also a broadcaster called Kweku Anan who stood on TV and said he doesn't understand why a Nigerian movie will come and premiere in Ghana, that they were going there to cause violence, and he scared people, Ghanaians, not to come. Nigerians were there. Yes, by God's grace, I've shot 11 cinema movies in Ghana. And each time I shoot a movie in Ghana, I do 60% Ghana representation and 40% Nigerian representation. What it means is that we don't employ only Nigerians. In my production, we get more of Ghanaians there. Each time I do a production, I'll talk about myself. I employed not less than 30 Ghanaians in a production, direct employment. We don't do film targeting only Nigerians, no. This is a diplomatic issue, and I believe that one of the tools in diplomacy is reciprocity. Now, as an actor, I didn't call my resident permit, but I spent like 1.8 million acquiring that resident permit. Okay, on the lower side. I repeat it, I spent 1.8 million naira to acquire a resident permit that will expire next year. What it means that next year, I have to spend almost the same amount. But the actors that comes here, I think their resident permit is like 15,000 naira. Trust me, you can go and check on it. So I think the ground is not level. If we are hospitable to people, we should get the same thing out there.
So that's Destiny Omon, the filmmaker based in Ghana, giving his own side of the story about what happened at that time. So when I listened to it, I didn't want to take side also with him because I wanted to know that, okay, even if I didn't really listen to what happened that time, because I said it was Kwekwan and I was reporting it, I had to say, okay, because I'm going to do this story, let me go back and, watch to see. I, true to my, thought, the reason why I didn't want to watch it that time, it was everything wrapped with Igbo man did this. At no point did he say this was what Destiny Moon did, the crime he committed. He only just tried to wrap him around the Igbo king matter. On Destiny's end, you heard him say that he was pushing back some of the narratives they were pushing. Just the way he was pushing back. So the Mr. Hassan Ayariga and this man came together to fight him. Now, till now, they've not been able to say this was what he did. You heard him. He is not those Nigerians that are living there illegally. He has his permit that he got for equivalent of 1 point something million. So you fight the illegals, you fight or you harass the legal Nigerians. So what is the basis of what you're doing if truly you want to sanitize your system? It's looking like it's something against the nationals, not really something they have done wrong. Because that's all I see here. You see, watch some of them come here to tell me, oh, this is what you're discussing. There is insecurity in your land. There is kidnapping in your land. There is this in your land. There is this in your land. That is the thing that thing works for me here. If I want to talk about the insecurity in my country, of course I'll talk about it, which I have been doing for the last couple of days. There's no way I'll come and tell me to talk about it. See, some of them, instead of them staying on the issue, they want to look for diversion tactics to make it look like, oh, this is not what you should be talking about. It's not you that I'll tell me what to talk about. This is my channel, remember? So I'll say what I want to say. And at the time I want to say it. Okay. So let's get out of the way. So after I watched the video from Kweku Anan's page, I decided to also do further research, go online, just search to see if the Destiny Omon did something against the law, did something that is wrong, other than maybe you jab me, I jab you kind of thing. Because because they're in your country, you cannot jab them and expect them not to say stuff, especially when there is a narrative peddling and the narrative is wrong. So I decided to say, okay, let me check to see that, okay, I don't want to come here and discuss this and then I speak in favor of Destiny Omon, and then it turns out that he has done something against the law. Because if it's something against Kweku Anan or against the Mr. Hassan Ayariga, then they can go at each other. But once the thing is against the law, my hand is not there. You get. So I wanted to know that if it's not an ego thing for them, that, oh, this Nigerian, you're still having mouth to talk because he's trying to defend himself. So I went online, started looking to be sure that this guy, maybe he did something wrong or he didn't. So when I did, the conclusion, I'm going to read out what I found. It was that Destiny Omon, a Nigerian filmmaker, was not accused of any crime, but faced a raid on his home by Ghanaian police following a dispute with Ghanaian politician Hassan Ayariga. Now, according to reports, Ayariga initiated a complaint against Omon, which led to the police action, though the alleged offense was described as a petty dispute. That's what I'm saying. When the problem is between them, Ayariga and Omon or Kweku. Now, because they can use the police, of course, it's their country, to fight you. That is what they're describing here as petty dispute. So, no crime committed. Omon was not accused of any illegal activities like robbery or terrorism or, just breaking the law. Police raid. A battalion of armed Ghanaian police officers raided his home. dispute with politician. The incident stemmed from a conflict with Ghanaian politician Harassed-Nigerian. You see, it's a personal thing that they wanted to use the state apparatus to fight him on destiny. Ayariga's role. Ayariga, who had political grievances, is cited as the person who initiated the complaint that led to the police action against Omon. The raid was described by some as an excessive response to minor disputes. You see? So that cleared. The guy did not do anything against the law. So it is just a personal issue. You see where this thing is going? Now, when people discuss it, especially the Nigerian side, it looks like they are trying to, continue to pour gasoline into something already burning. But these people, the people who are genuinely living legal in that country, a lot of them are facing a lot of things that they're not talking about. But they will pick up, even the Nigerians who are supposed to speak up, those who have platforms, they would prefer to lump everybody in one space and then make it look like everybody there is doing something wrong. Now, you could see the Kweku in that video saying, you cannot premiere your movie here. You cannot premiere your movie here. What did he do? When I even heard that, I said, okay, is it that there was something he didn't do right by them before, maybe they have maybe something you need to do before you produce your movies, or before you bring out your movie, or before you do your premiere or something. I was thinking, okay, maybe there's something he did wrong or he didn't fulfill, and then he's going ahead to promote his movie or to premiere his movie, and then Kweku Anan is trying to stop it. I checked again. I didn't see. Now, if you listened to Destiny Omon, he more or less fulfilled everything. He's operating, in that land legally. You have your permit to work. And if you also listen to him, as long as he's doing a movie in Ghana, the percentage of Ghanaians who work in his production, 60% against Nigerian 40. So there is nowhere from the two sides of the stories that I've heard, there is nowhere this man, went wrong. But then, because it's your land, nobody should premiere their movie. You must not premiere the movie. But the movie still went ahead to be premiered anyway. But according to him, the Ghanaian contingent didn't come. But hey, the Nigerians came out. They supported one of their own. Because to me, I will never be in support of anybody who go to another man's land and do any evil or do any crime. I will never be that person. But when you see the stories are out there, you try to look for the problems or where this person has faltered. I checked, I didn't see. Now he pays 1 point something million to get his permit so that he can live like a legal person there, right? And again, so he can work there without any kind of harassment. Now the Ghanaians who come here to work, they pay roughly like 15,000. You heard what he said, to work in Nigeria. You see, there's already a disparity here. But nobody talks about that. Nigerians, of course, they are Nigerians, they have the money, they will charge them more. Nigerians will pay. But you still go and harass them. Why? Because they are Nigerians. Now, I'm treating this case in isolation. I'm not talking about any other person who would have done something that is not right. I'm treating this case in isolation. What did he do? Why? You must not premiere. But he went ahead, he did it regardless. But do you know what that has done to his business? Do you know? Because he's in your land. But you see, let us all be careful so it doesn't get to the point where we all start to say that, we're just going to go out on any filmmaker who we, bring a Ghanaian actor in our movie production. Because if on one breath they are being harassed in your country, and in Nigeria they are even giving them lead roles, go to all the YouTube movies and see, they are using them. If we also, okay, just maybe it's better that everybody stay in your country. Nigeria, stay back. We have so many, issues that we are even dealing with as Nigerians. Stay back. Let's focus on our country. They to focus on their country, focus on their movie industry. Your movie industry has issues. This is the same thing they did years back that Nigerians pulled out. They are still suffering the effect of that. The few that stayed back, still trying to make movies, you're still giving them that rule to pay so amount of money. They're staying back, they're paying. Now, this guy has shot almost like, according to him, 6 to 7 cinema movies in Ghana. And that provided jobs for Ghanaians. But then you want to, harass him because he's trying to defend himself or because he's Nigerian. I don't get it. You come here, they will treat you people well. I'm talking about entertainers. They will treat you people well, give you all 5-star, pay you people money that they don't pay in your country. And then Nigerians who are there, working there, you treat them like this. And now you wonder why Van Vika said, oh, I don't know why Nigerians don't appear in Ghana to do movies anymore. Let them appear or let them come and you treat them like this. They will bring their resources. You heard Omon saying that they don't have any resources from Ghana government and all of that. It's the money that they bring from Nigeria that they spend in Ghana. That they bring money to spend in Ghana to do production. And the percentage of Ghanaians employed are more. And then you still fight them. You see, tell me where this guy, as far as this movie is concerned, tell me where this guy went wrong. If for anything, there's even Nigerians that had a problem with the guy because the movie that they shot. So the movie was initially titled Badagry. So, and some people from Badagry, they had a problem with the guy saying that he tried to depict Badagry, in a certain light, which he came out to apologize, and then it was changed to iBad and all of that. I've not seen the movie, so I don't really know what the movie is about, but that is as far as what I even researched on. That is even Nigerians that had a problem with the movie because of the Badagry story that, they didn't think it was a good representation of them. Other than that, the movie from the Ghana end, it's like it ticked all the boxes. So I don't know why, because you have a platform, because you saw an opening that looks like an opportunity to run down those people or to deal with them because they are in your country, you use that power. Like it's not it's not a good thing, because if people try to start reciprocating, like if we all start to say, okay, any movie filmmaker, if you use any Ghanaian, we will boycott it. I don't think that would be a good thing. Because, if we want to start it, because you guys are already doing that, we don't forget that. Remember when you said, oh, under the guise of no foreign music. Of course, we knew that it was Nigerian music you were talking about, because a lot of you, of course, when you finish talking, you say Nigerian music especially. But we looked the other way. I am not one of those that lives in denial. It's the energy you bring, I give back. I'm not the type that if you want to jab me, you use joke to jab me. I'll still use joke to jab you too. So yes, I'm clear about what you bring that I give. So Nigerians, that some of you that still lives in denial that it's all vibes and inshallah all bant, be kidding yourselves. Be kidding yourselves. I don't know. Really, it's really unfortunate that things like this keep happening. If you want to stay on the issues of those who are committing crime, stay on that. Get them. Get the evidence. Because it's like some of these things, if not, look at that.
And also later reference the propaganda.
If you don't know anything, you look at that guy, you will think that, oh, the crime that this guy has committed. You'll be wondering, what did he do? What did he do? According to him, thank God that when they abducted him from his home, that the story was out there before, anything, before they could take him away or anything. Now, something would have happened and then they will pin it against either if it gets worse, they will pin it and say Nigerians did it to him. Or they will say he did this. They will put false allegation against him. Whether he will be alive to defend himself, who knows? But you see, that is an eye-opener to tell you now that while I understand that some Nigerians are a handful, I understand that. But it's looking like some of these things being done there, some of them, they might just rope Nigerians inside who know nothing about what happened. But hey, it is Nigerians and people will believe it. Just look at this case now. Just look, somebody who is there providing jobs, there shooting a movie. These are like the few Nigerians that are remaining there after they said Nigerians should pay this, pay this, pay this. These are the few that remained and they're still shooting there. Even when their filmmakers hardly shoot movies there because it's increasingly difficult to shoot movies in their country. The few Nigerians that are there, you want to frustrate them. It is well. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let's continue the conversation in the comment section, okay? I see you again in my next video. Bye for now.